It's now time for the district breakdown. We bring in Inside High School Sports Insider Matt Harris to answer some of those questions for us. Matt, over to you.
Thanks, Ashley. We kick off our 6A coverage with District 13 this week, and this is a district that looks starkly different from what it was the last 2 years. If you ever tuned in to our Friday night postgame show, the fifth quarter last season, you know District 15 6A was one of my favorites to watch. Now, 15 6A is essentially split in half, with the Conroe ISD schools going to 13 6A. Now, one of the most unique districts in the state, being that it's the only 6A district to include just 6 teams. That means 4 schools make the playoffs, while just 2 will miss out. It's better odds than anywhere else in the state. With all that being said, let's start with a school that barely missed out on the playoffs in a deeper district a season ago, the Conroe Tigers. For Conroe, there's good news and bad news. The good news is they went 5-5 a season ago, including an even 4-4 record in a pretty tough district. The other good news is the Tigers will return a terrific front seven that includes linebackers Lane Odell and Tyler Trantham, as well as defensive lineman Kamari Weatherspoon. The bad news is Conroe will lose most of its offensive production as quarterback Christian Pack and dynamic wideout Michael Phoenix are both gone. Now with a 2/3 shot to get in by virtue of having a 16 district, Conroe figures to be firmly in the mix for a playoff spot, but replacing Pack and Phoenix won't be easy. While Conroe was eliminated on the final day of the regular season in 2019, one team that made it in the back end of the playoffs in that same district was the Woodlands. The Highlanders fell off a bit last season after suffering some injuries in the middle of the season, but they were able to bounce back nicely to close the season strong, bowing out in the third round of the playoffs to a good Prosper team. Similar to Conroe, the Highlanders will have plenty of offensive talent to replace. Running back Brighton Guilford carried the offense in 2019, and it'll be tough to replace his production. Gone too is quarterback Peyton Jansek. However, Cody Howard got some looks early last year at the QB spot and is primed to take over. Aiding in his transition to the starting role will be wideout Theodore Knox, considered to be one of the best wide receivers in Texas. I fully expect the Woodlands to be back in the playoffs, and the Highlanders are my favorite to win 13 6A. My team to watch in this district will be the Oak Ridge War Eagles. A 3-7 record doesn't seem like much, but the Eagles are returning loads of talent. That'll be led by explosive running back Alton McCaskill, whose recruitment's picking up a lot of steam, as well as a trio of solid linebackers including fellow Division I recruit Casey Osai. There's a spot to be filled at quarterback, but I think the return of Oak Ridge's most important playmakers will have them in the playoffs in 2020. Another school that narrowly missed the playoffs last season is College Park. The Cavaliers have a combined record of 11-9 in the last 2 seasons, but no playoff appearances to show for it. They'll return wide receiver Holden Rook, which will help continue the winning ways College Park is used to. Like the rest of the teams we've discussed so far, College Park is coming over from 15 6A and expect the Cavaliers to make the playoffs in a much smaller district from what they were competing in. Our final 2 teams to discuss are unlike the rest of the district in that they did not compete in 15 6A last season. Willis moves up after spending the last 2 seasons in 5A Division I. The Wildcats went just 3-7 last year, but like Oak Ridge, they return a ton of talent, and there's plenty of reason for optimism, with Steele Bardwell returning at quarterback, Johnny McHenry joining him in the backfield, and Jacoby McCoy returning as Bardwell's top target. Together, those 3 will lead an offense that had no struggle scoring points in 2019. The Wildcats scored in double digits in every game. If they can figure out how to stop teams on defense, Willis could absolutely contend for a spot in the playoffs. The last team in this district deserves a little welcoming. Grand Oaks will play its first full varsity season after spending the first 2 years of existence not playing in any district. The Grizzlies will have a benefit that no other team in Texas will. They don't lose a single player from last year's squad, which was made up of only freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. It's tough to know what Grand Oaks brings to the table because they've played hardly any games. However, I'll be very intrigued to see how they compete and who stands out as the first senior class in school history looks to leave its mark. That leaves us once again with our final order of business for this week, my team and player to watch. I already ruined the surprise on team to watch for this district, but I'll give my reasoning. I picked Oak Ridge because I think the War Eagles have a chance to have a special team after 2 pretty unspectacular seasons. They're strong on defense and return one of the better offensive players in all of Houston in Alton McCaskill. I think they'll have a shot to contend to the district title, and I think they have a very realistic shot at a second place finish in the district. My player to watch is Theodore Knox of the Woodlands. Knox has picked up plenty of buzz on the recruiting trail and could be the key cog to carrying the Woodlands to another deep playoff run. As a bonus, I want to say keep an eye on Grand Oaks. They may not be the most exciting team in the area, but we've seen plenty of magic in first-year schools before. Just ask Shadow Creek.